Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton, and we come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, Merry Christmas to everyone. We have come to the end of a very long year. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to celebrate and get on with life. I am tired of all the conflict. I am tired of all the craziness we have gone through. And I am looking forward to a very fine Christmas time. I was sharing with my husband that it's really a unique Christmas for us. We don't have anybody in the family that's sick yet. We still have a few days till Christmas. Somebody will get sick. But anyway, we don't have anybody sick. Everything's good. We're having a great time. Life looks good, and I'm looking forward to 2025. So this show, Exploited Crimes and Technology, is brought to you by an organization called Million Kids, Million, millionkids.org. Someone asked me why that name. Well, I didn't do that name. This organization started way back in 2008 with my pastor, Kerry, and he actually started Million Kids. Everybody says I'm the founder, but I've been with them for 15 years, so I feel like the founder, but no, I am not the founder. The Million Kids was named that because of the fact that there are more than 1 million kids around the world that are trafficked each year throughout the world. And that number has greatly increased since 15 years ago when we started this organization. Who would believe that we would be where we are today? We're in a local organization. We're housed right here in Riverside, California. We do work all across the nation. We're a unique organization in that we never wanted to be a major corporation. That was never our goal. For us, this is a mission, a ministry, and our goal is basically very simple. Keep kids safe from predators, all kinds of kids. And sometimes those kids are 60 and 70 and 80 years old because, even grandma and grandpas can get caught up with predators, especially online. So we combat things like human trafficking and social media exploitation. And it has been an amazing journey. I was thinking today that we've been on the air almost 8 years. And I find that just simply amazing. I remember when we decided to do this, I can see my producer going, really? We were so young then when we started this. But I remember when we first started this, and Brad was involved at the time. I'm with AM 590, and I talked to him and said, I think I want to be on the radio. And he says, what makes you think you can do this? And I ask myself that question almost every weekend, it seems like. What the heck were you thinking? That has been quite a ride over the last 7, 8 years. We're, as you will find out through the rest of the show, we're thinking of going a new direction next year. And so one of the things I want to know from you is if this show has been helpful to you. And you can write to me at Opal, OPAL, at millionkids.org if this show has made a difference. I hear about it when I'm out in the public. Apparently, I have some sort of strange voice from what they tell me. Sounds normal to me, but anyway. And so I'll be out in the public and doing something, and people say, "Are you that lady on the radio? Because your voice sounds weird." And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not. We're never really sure, but apparently it's distinct. But we have been involved for the last 15 years here in Southern California, working as the training and outreach coordinator for the Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force. And amazing, human trafficking is something that you think about is just overseas. And it is. I actually started with my ministry in Cambodia, and it is overseas. My background is international marketing, and at the time I retired, I had over 3.5 million frequent flyer miles. But I had never been to Cambodia, and I went and studied it. And so much has changed in the last 15 years, even in Cambodia. But what happened was in 2010, I met people from the Riverside County Sheriff Department, and they were forming the Riverside County Human Trafficking Task Force. I've been through four sergeants since then, by the way, and they were all neat people. I've worked with some of the best, and very, very fond of them. And for the last 15 years, or excuse me, the last 13 and a half, 14 years, I've served as the training and outreach coordinator for the task force. Now I have chosen to be an advisor to that because we need young people out there. This is a crime that is not going to go away, and it has a lot of changing taking place in it, and we need to be cutting edge. So our ministry with me and kids in the last year or so, and really going into next year, is to train the trainer, be the resource for advocates all across the nation. I will admit to you that I'm something of a nerd, and my passion is knowing the truth about this kind of thing. There is a lot of untruth and misstated truth and misunderstood truth, and then some not truth at all that's out there regarding human trafficking. A lot of movies have been made that really make you go off in one direction or the other, and some of it has some element of truth, but it isn't always like it is. And so we are committed to literally, in my case, looking at tens of thousands of cases of trafficking and online social media exploitation, analyzing those cases. I did serve on the committee for the state of California that wrote the curriculum for all of law enforcement. So getting case-based information is really, really critical. And having it in a way that you understand how the crime is changing and what it looks like and what kinds of elements do things like or people like law enforcement and social workers and like that need to look for in these cases. And it has changed dramatically over the last 3 or 4 years because of the fact that we've had open borders. And we are gearing up for 2025. And I'm searching my soul. I will be just real upfront with you. I'm praying like crazy about getting ready for 2025 because it is going to take a lot more resources than we have. It will be interesting to see how it all plays out. People say, well, what's it going to be like when they start mass deportation? And is trafficking then going to go away? No, I don't think it will. I think that any time you have an open border, and we have had an open border for many, many months, right into almost 4 years now. And nobody really knows the number because that nobody was required that they register. But somewhere between 5 and 15 million people have crossed our border in the last 3 or 4 years. The problem is we don't know who's who. Some are good people, and some are cartels and gang members and bad people that are taking advantage of the good people. But anytime you do away with the rule of law and the programs and the structure so that we can find out who has come into our country, we've done away with a lot of that. And what happens is that causes the bad guy to prey on the good guys. And so a lot of the people that came in are good guys. They are good ladies or children, but they're not bad people. However, they owe money to people who are bad people, and bad things happen when you don't pay your money. At the same time, there's a lot of bad people that came in, gangs and cartels and like that. And, 90% of sex trafficking in Southern California has a gang relationship. That's serious. That's really serious when you look at it, because that means the victims of trafficking are going to be more violated, in more danger, more exploited than ever before. And so we're gearing up for a very hard year next year. we are asking for support everywhere we can find it. You want to sponsor this show? We would welcome that. You want to come alongside as a partner with Million Kids, as a corporation, as a private citizen to support us, we would welcome that. Because getting ready for 2025 is going to take everything we have. We just added 2 new board members. These are people that have worked with Million Kids for a long time. We know them, they're vetted. They have a passion for keeping kids safe. One of them we had on our radio show last week is Linda Berg-Herring. She is a private investigator from Orange County, specializing in child sex crimes and working to support law enforcement. That's very important if you're going to be a private investigator in this kind of combating this kind of crime. So I look at the clock here, and we're coming against that break. So I'm going to ask you to stay with us, and we're going to be right back after the break and talk about our plans for 2025. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, let me tell you about my favorite restaurant in Riverside, Monarch Asian Bistro. The atmosphere and decor are simply stunning. The service is great too. It's a wonderful environment for a romantic dinner or a family get-together. It's not just another Chinese restaurant. The Monarch Asian Bistro is upscale, and it serves Thai food as well as unique Asian-inspired dishes that are just fabulous. My favorite is the pad see ew beef. My husband likes the orange chicken, and the Chinese chicken salad is always great. Our friends sometimes order the Emperor's Choice or Monarch steak. It is my favorite go-to place. Go ahead and give it a try. It's Monarch Bistro in Riverside, Canyon Crest Town Center next to Ralph's. They are open for lunch and dinner every day but Tuesday. Go ahead, give it a try. You're going to love it.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of MillionKids.org. I believe the 4 most powerful words on earth are I believe in you. So we created a challenge coin that says, I believe in you on one side and stand tall, you are loved on the other side. This one-of-a-kind challenge coin is a perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, Christmas presents, or just an anytime gift for someone you love. What a powerful message for a parent or a grandparent to give to a young person. This 2-inch coin is made of polished gold. It's striking to look at, and it is priceless to hold. It is packaged in a beautiful black velvet gift box. What a great way to leave a legacy of love that will last forever. To purchase this coin, go to millionkids.org/gallery. Each coin is $25. Go to millionkids.org/gallery to purchase and give a legacy of love.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and we are talking about combating crimes like online social media exploitation and sex and labor trafficking that is taking place right here in our community, on the U.S., in Riverside, in San Bernardino, in both our counties, and it is here and it is real. Now, I'm here to tell you that there isn't a human trafficking victim behind every corner. It isn't that prolific. However, it is taking place in the dark, and it is about to get a whole lot more difficult because of the fact that we are now going to start to take on closing the border and sorting out who's the perpetrator and who is the victim. And it is going to take everything we have of our resources to be able to be there. We believe nobody should be trafficked. One of the things very few people ever talk about are men get trafficked too. Somehow we have this kind of crazy concept that a man ought to be able to take care of himself. Well, that's nice, but if you owe money to a coyote and you don't have it, you can get exploited, and you can be the finest of a man, but if you're involved in that, that's a problem. So we are gearing up for next year, and we are going to ask all of you to come along with us. There are really two main focuses that we're going to focus on, and this is the reason why. Number one, we've added 2 more board members, and we have just are in the process of announcing our whole new website. And that website was created by Dina Murray. She is now another board member and an amazing woman, very, very, very talented. But she also participated in working with 20 foster kids, having them in her home. She adopted and raised 12 of those kids. I say that because one of the reasons that's so important is that as many as 1 out of 6 kids engaged in sex trafficking come from the foster care programs. And so Million Kids does a lot of work to go out and do what we can to work with foster kids. On top of it, she is an excellent marketer. And she has created what I think is one of the most impressive websites to combat human trafficking and online social media exploitation that I've ever seen. It is full of resources, not just Million Kids resources, but lots of other people. If you have a kid that's doing a research study or a term paper on do they have term papers anymore? I'm going to tell my age there, sorry. But if they're doing a project where they want to talk about sextortion or sextortion or social media exploitation or sex trafficking, go to millionkids.org. It is not .com, by the way. That's a rock band. Go to millionkids.org and look at our new website. And if you're there and you want to support our work, you can hit donate. We'd appreciate that because we are going to need everything we can get for next year. We're really gearing up. So there's 2 big focuses for next year. One is taking on the fact that there is all kinds of trafficking right here in Riverside and San Bernardino, and preparing other advocates and other leaderships. These aren't people that have to run a nonprofit. I mean, these are social workers and teachers and counselors and faith-based people and some of your civic groups and like that, to give them the facts, to prepare them so that they can be the leader. And this is so important in our community because what you're about to see as they begin to try to separate out the good guy from the bad guy is some people are going to get hurt in this. And then you're going to find out that other people have been being violated all along, but it's in the dark and you couldn't see it because of the fact that they're paying off a coyote or they're being blackmailed somehow. So this is really where we see this is going to be a big challenge for next year, and we need to get ready for it. And our role here, in addition to doing what we normally do, is to expand our services so that we can do more train the trainer, other organizations, so that we can increase our ability for reach. Now, there's something else that's happening. I'm going to do a whole show on this. I don't want to take up too much time today, but I am very, very concerned. And this is why I haven't retired, by the way. People say, when are you going to retire? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't imagine myself all day on a golf cart when I'm needing to do something like this that I know about. But there is a change going on around the world that I don't hear. I mean, I bet I don't even hear 1% of the media talk about it, if it's that much. And we need to be able to educate. So this is going to affect our teenagers, but it's also going to affect our elderly and our senior citizens. And that is online scams. And I want to take this on. We may form a senior citizen speaker bureau to be able to get the word out there. So if you want to be one of those people, you can contact me at Opal at Million Kids. But in a short version, let me tell you what has happened. In 2022 and 23, the entire world connected by internet. That gave 5G high-speed internet to places like Myanmar and Nigeria and Philippines and Cambodia and Pakistan. Places where they have a whole lot of very poor people that need work. and what has happened around the world, but especially in Myanmar, Cambodia, and Thailand, Nigeria, and Philippines, and Ivory Coast, is that the cartels and many of even your Chinese cartels have gone in and organized where they trick people or bring people in and hold them in what is called a scam farm. And the reason that you should care about this is that the whole purpose of a scam farm is to reach you to get your money. So this can be grandma and grandpa who are lonely and fall in love on a romance scam that somebody they met in a video game when they're playing their little free cell program, or in a dating site that they meet, or it can be your teenage kid while they're playing a video game. But scam farms are where literally thousands of people are brought in and held as slaves. And they are put in front of computers to go online and trick you or grandma into sending some sort of money. So this takes all kinds of variations. This can be a Microsoft repair farm, a scam. It can be a Bitcoin scam. It can be timeshare, sell your timeshare scam. There was one of those operating out of Mexico. In those cases, there were 8 kids that were forced to do this all day long. They tried to quit and they were murdered by the cartel down there. So these people aren't doing this willingly, but they can't get free. And this can also be things where you go on a dating site and you fall in love and you think this is the person who's going to make you happy, but they're in an oil well in Saudi Arabia and you need to send them money. There's all kinds of these scams, but I could not believe until I started studying and researching how big this is. In Myanmar and Cambodia alone, it is estimated by their governments there that there is as many as 250,000 people that are being held hostage in these warehouses throughout Cambodia to go online and try to lure people in. And they show pictures of them, they're arresting them and like that. The Chinese have gone into Cambodia and built over 100 casinos. And these casinos are being turned into scam farms where people are brought in and held. Now, I'm certainly concerned about the people who are in slavery in those areas, but I am equally concerned about grandma right here in our community, because what is happening is these people are called chatters. They are forced to do things to go online and try to engage you. Either get your son to send a naked photo, get grandma to send a PayPal, something or other, because they think that their child is being held, or they're on a dating site that some guy promises to love them, and then they start sending money and like that. There is a multitude of these scams, but the role of the people that are being held, the chatters, is just simply to seduce you in and start that conversation and make it apparent that you can be duped. At that point, you are then turned over to the pros, and your life becomes living hell. The reason this is so important, if there's 250,000 of those in Cambodia alone, and they're making 100 contacts a day, keep in mind AI is helping them make those contacts, 100 a day, that's 25 million attempted contacts a day that we're receiving over here from those scam farms, and we don't even realize what is happening to us. This is the reason why I think next year is so important for the work that we do. We have got to get the word out there. I'm just now starting to understand the magnitude of this, and it just scares the living socks off me when I think about the possibilities. Folks, sorry to say this, but it is break time, so stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic.
Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the darknet will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton. The organization is called Million Kids, millionkids.org, located right here in Riverside. So we have our work cut out for us for next year. If you've been listening to the previous sections, we want to expand our capability. We've been operating here over 15 years. We have some of the best expertise in the business. I do want to take a minute and tell you how grateful I am for all the people that I've worked with over the last 15 years. It's Christmas time, and I feel the need, I'm praying for more resources. I'm praying for the ability to expand. I'm praying for supporters and donors to come forward and be able to enable us to do what we need to do. But I want to take a minute and recognize several things in my life that are so very important. The first thing is all the people that have supported me and kids over the last 15 years. And some of you are in this audience, and you just mean the world to me. I know you by name. I often try to send out my own personal thank you if I can. And it just means a lot that people would either give us a monthly rotating donation or a one-time donation or hold a fundraiser for our organization and like that. We wouldn't still be here if it weren't for you. And I look at what we need to do, and it is intimidating. But I also look back at all that has taken place over the last 15 years, and it is very, very humbling to see how God has multiplied your blessings and my blessings out there based on your support. I'm very grateful for people like Chris Kleiss over at Kleiss Media that has handled our social media, and Dina that has now joined our board, but who is a beacon of light to me, inspiration, motivation, very, very creative lady. She lived here in Southern California and moved to the Midwest, but we talk. That's the beauty of communication several times a day. I'm grateful for people like Linda Berg-Herring that is now joined our board, but she's a private investigator, and, she's one that has the greatest respect for law enforcement, and I've seen her take on several cases. One of the reasons that she gets engaged with us is because oftentimes families of victims or the victim themselves need to hire someone that can do private investigation work and help them so they know what the facts are. I'm really, really grateful for people like the Redlands Rotary. They formed their own human trafficking outreach program. And what high caliber people they are. They wanted to do it right. And they came and sat with us. And to their credit, they took what we call a boot camp. For people who really want to be serious trainers, we run a boot camp. And it's tough, okay, about what the real world of online exploitation and trafficking is. And that is something we want to expand over the next year. I'm grateful for Tanya Holt. Now, you don't know her. I've had her on my radio show, but she and her husband run a church up in a town called Oildale. And I went to Oildale at her request, Oh my gosh, I love Riverside. Oildale has a serious gang and drug problem, and they run something called the Church Without Walls. And she is totally an expert on fentanyl and meth abuse. I'm very, very grateful for Reverend Holtz, and some of you donated for him this last year. He is an amazing, amazing man. Now, he is a man who was very instrumental in my life all my life. I've known him many, many, many years. And last year, his house caught on fire, and his wife died in that fire. And he himself spent almost 4 months in ICU and inhaled a lot of smoke and fumes that had asbestos in them. He is now recovered. He's still running his ministry called Dial a Prayer. It's a hotline that you can ask for help. I'm really grateful for Rafa International. I was on their board for 10 years, and they operate out of Cambodia and Thailand, and was doing their best to operate out of Haiti. That's not easy these days. But Me and Kids actually sponsors a couple of the girls there that live in Myanmar. That is just a horrific, horrific situation where, Burma, Myanmar won't take you, and Thailand won't let you in, and that's a very difficult place to be. I'm grateful to God to help us find all the funding that we've needed over the past few years, and I am certain that He will be faithful for the future. I really want to also say how grateful I am to be able to partner with Riverside County Human Trafficking Task Force. You folks here in Riverside have no idea how blessed you are for this task force. I believe they are the best in the nation, and I have trained many other task forces across the nation. And I currently report to Sergeant Jeff Hammond. Great individual. These are people, both men and women, that go out in the middle of the night to rescue people that are in just horrific situations. And yes, it's women too that are on that task force. And they are victim oriented. In other words, they do everything they can to help the victim get out and get out safely, but they are not afraid to take on that bad guy. I'm very grateful for the Riverside County Sheriff Department. I have worked with them under various sheriffs, as it turns out. But I enjoy Chad Bianco, and I enjoy his commitment to making a change in our community and taking on the hard assignments. And I would say the same thing for DA Hestron. I've known Mike now since the day he took office. I was the first person to meet him at the door, I think. But I admire the fact that he is committed to getting justice for people. I'm very, very grateful for Chief Larry Gonzalez and Ryan Railsback and all the folks down at RPD, Riverside Police Department. They are people that run programs to try to keep kids out of bad places before it gets too late for them. And they are also people who go out and put their lives on the line so that we can be safe. I've had other relationships I'm very grateful for. One of them is Children's Fund out of San Bernardino. We have worked with them for about 15 years. No, it hasn't been that long, about 4 or 5 years now to think about it. And San Manuel has been very supportive of our work. So in looking at all of that, I just want to say to you how important it is that others recognize the importance of the work that we do. This is just a fairy tale story when you think about it. We're a small nonprofit, and we live at the generosity of people like yourself that care deeply about whether or not a kid is saved. And in many of the people who donate knew somebody that we worked with and made a difference in their life. Sometimes it's a grandparent who we've intervened and helped a grandchild. Sometimes it's a parent who thought they would never see their daughter again because, poof, they met somebody online or at the mall, and then one day they changed and they were gone. And it's all been very, very exciting. But where I'm at today is looking at 2025. Our lives are going to be dramatically different in 2025. And it's our role, and me and kids, to get ready for that, to understand what it's going to look like and what it's going to take to make the changes. I am especially concerned about your children and your grandchildren and what is going to happen online. Now, we've been fighting, exploitation, sextortion for many, many years. Most of you know we have a movie out. You can see that movie on Amazon, iTunes, and Apple TV called Sextortion, The Hidden Pandemic. Sextortion, The Hidden Pandemic. I hope you'll watch it. We had a couple of kids back in New Jersey watch it, young boys. And by the way, more boys are sextorted than girls when it comes to money. And in this case, one kid had already paid an overseas organization over $8,000 trying to keep his nude photos from appearing in public. Another kid had paid $500. So watch that movie and get your kids to watch it with you and talk about what sextortion is. I say that because it's all about to change. If we thought it was horrible in 2024, what is about to happen in 2025 because of artificial intelligence, because of high-speed 5G internet, because of geolocation out there, because of money transfer capability and all the apps, we have undergone a technology transformation in the last 3 years. And our parents and our kids don't seem to recognize the impact on their vulnerability to be blackmailed. And that is why we've got to get ready for 2025, because it is going to reach proportions that most of us can't even verbalize, let alone recognize. My name is Opal Singleton. We are coming up against that break, so stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited, Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited, Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590. The Answer.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty, 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton and we are talking about gearing up for 2025. While we're at it, this Christmas is probably going to be a Christmas where some of your young people, for the first time, will get all kinds of sophisticated devices. And I really would like to see parents everywhere, if you have a new young person, especially if they're prepubescent, but if you have a new young person that is going online for the first time, or maybe you just want to feel like it's important to sit down and have a conversation with you, I often recommend, first of all, I'm not against technology. This is the generation that's going to live in the most technologically advanced society that we have ever known to date. Now, 3 or 4 years from now, this will look like child's play. But we have to get those young people ready to live in a globally connected world where they can recognize a good relationship from a bad relationship and understand the world they live in. You know, we had kids' phones, and all they think about is either video gaming or, direct messaging or being socializing, posting that video on TikTok so they can get a lot of views and all of that. But we need to sit down with children and teenagers before they ever get that and have that talk. Do you know that right now there are more than 5 billion people on the internet? 5 billion people connected by internet. And some of them are good people and some of them are bad people. It isn't like you go to Walmart and you say, oh, that you can smile and be friendly to this person, but watch out for that person because they're kind of weird. With internet and technology, you cannot tell who you're talking to. And that goes for grandma and grandpa too, and those people that are widows or widowers or on those dating sites and are lonely out there. Every one of them is vulnerable. And you need to have a conversation about what looks like a healthy relationship and what looks like an exploitive relationship. The first thing that will happen with a bad person online is they will move you from one app to the other. If you're on a dating site, they'll say, let's talk off the dating site. Let's talk directly. If you're on maybe Instagram, they'll move you over to Snapchat or vice versa. They're looking to see if you might be law enforcement. And then they'll suggest that it's just your little secret. Don't tell anybody. And they'll start to send some photos back and forth. And maybe they're not even risque, but you're used to sending photos at this point. And they start playing games where they get riskier and riskier. And then you're in a relationship where they can't meet up. And that's a biggie, especially if you've got on a dating site. They're on an oil rig somewhere and they can't meet up, but they need money and they're going to help you out. Never, ever send money to someone you met online. Never, ever, ever, never, ever. Okay. So let's get back to if you've got a child going online for the first time, get a contract with your child. Sit down and explain to them that at any given time, there can be as many as 1 million predators and pedophiles online. Your child needs to understand what a pedophile is before they ever go online. I can guarantee you at some point they will encounter one. And if they're not old enough to understand what that is, they're probably not old enough to be connecting to the World Wide Web, okay? Because they don't have enough world experience and cognitive thinking to think it out. So your contract, number one, is that they will always share every app that they have with you and show you how to use it. And I suggest that you have app trackers so that you can see what they're getting and what not, especially if they're younger people. So every app they have, you're going to have, and they understand you're going to check it because it's your phone. You're paying for it. And mom and dad, when you download those apps and you hit I agree, you better know what you're agreeing to, because most of them are saying, I'm not going to give this to a child under 13. Then you hand it to your 9-year-old. And it is you who have agreed to do that. So you are responsible for understanding that. The second thing is that they will never put anything online that will embarrass them or embarrass you. And that's very, very important for them to understand. Any photo, any information you put online will be out there forever, and you cannot get it back. And sooner or later, somebody will intercept it and use it against you. So they will never post anything that will embarrass you. Number 3, get this in writing, mom and dad. They will never, ever, ever go out and meet up with someone they met online. Now, that may seem extreme to you, but I see cases all day long where the kid just poof disappears. This is why we run Million Kids Missing Kids. And every one of those kids said, well, I never meant to go with them. I was just wondering to see what he looked like. Or meet them at the mall, and then they disappear. So they'll never go out and meet up somebody they met online. And they will talk about it with you if they think that they want to meet out somebody. And the fourth one is the most important one, that if you hope that they'll never send a nude photo or they'll never do anything illicit, but if they do, they will trust you enough if they get in trouble. We are having an absolute epidemic of young boys, about 14 to 17 years old, who send that nude, and the next thing you know, they're being blackmailed, and they panic and make very poor decisions, sometimes ending their life. And those are so unnecessary. So I think, I'm excited about Christmas, but I think that if we have new kids going online, you need to have that dialogue. They need to understand the world that you're putting them in. You would never put your child out on the 10 freeway to play and not mention that there are cars going by. And then when they get run over, you call Caltrans. It isn't like that. When you put a kid online and you don't define the world they live in and what to expect and the high probability that they will almost immediately meet a bad guy, then you're not doing any of you any favors. There is a way to use technology and use it wisely. And in fact, I think this is the greatest call to leadership of all time. I think that if you're a leader out there, or if you're a parent or a grandparent, this is the greatest calling ever, because we got to get this right. I believe that with all my heart. How we train this generation, they're the first generation in all of history that can reach the entire world, and the entire world can reach them. We have to train them to get that right. How we train this generation to use technology with respect and responsibility will set the stage for all future generations. So while it is terrifying, it is also the greatest calling of all time. And that's why Million Kids exists. And that is why we're going forward in 2025 to be able to continue our ministry to do that, to help people understand the world that they live in. Folks, I hope you have just a blessed, blessed Christmas. Take this time to put your arms around the people you know and love and let them know how proud you are of them. We sell I Believe in You coins. I hesitate to mention it because I'm not sure if I can get them to you by Christmas after this show. But we do sell I Believe in You coins because I believe those are the 4 most powerful words on earth. It's important between husband and wife. It's important between parent and child. It is important between grandparents and grandchildren. Let them know you believe in them, that you are there for them, that you stand by them, that you are proud of them. Those are 4 of the most important words you can ever give as a gift to anybody. And I hope that you will do that this Christmas. I'm looking forward to Christmas this year. I always enjoy celebrating the birth of Christ. I think that needs to make sure that it is never lost in our society of what that means, that we all get second chances, that we all have a chance to love and forgive and find the good in each other. So I hope that you will take this holiday season to make the most of your family. Put aside all those petty little quibbling things. They don't matter. Life is short, and one day the people that are so important to you will be gone. And here's a chance to spend time with them, learn from them, let them know how proud you are of them, and let them know how important it is that they are family with you. I think that family, even extended family, is the greatest gift of all. That sense of belonging and that sense of inclusion, that is one of the greatest gifts that two people can ever have between themselves. And especially if you're husband and wife, it makes all the difference in the world. Thank you for supporting the work of Million Kids. If you want to donate, please go to millionkids.org/donate. We'd appreciate it. We are a 501c3 public benefit nonprofit, so it is tax deductible. You folks have a happy holiday, and I'll see you coming into next year. Have a great weekend.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.